You like Mexican food?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it. I'll show you afterward.
Sounds like a plan.
Great.
You're buying, right?
No. Yes, with
You got a credit card.
Father Bill's wallet.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
I like it. Hi, I'm Father Joe Krupp, pastor of Holy Family in Blank and St. Mark and Goodrich, and
I'm Father Peter Lawrence, parochial vicar of Holy Family in St. Mark's and Goodrich.
So, Father Peter, would you like to draw the first question
Sure.
from our random pile of question happiness? Was it upside right?
It was.
How do you say it?
Right side up.
You?
It was. No, it wasn't. It was upside down that time.
Sweet.
Yeah. So there we go.
Contagious.
I find addressing priests by their first name to be casual. Isn't it more proper to refer to them by Father last name?
Okay, well, Peter.
So instead of...
I know, you know what's funny? I do think, Father is an appropriate title. It's not one we earned. Mm-hmm. It's one the Lord was gracious enough to grant us. It's a spiritual fatherhood. Personally, it's kind of funny. Father Krupp is almost too formal for me. Father Joe, I just prefer not to be called late for dinner. You don't get one of these. But what are your thoughts?
I'd say a lot of times it's a personal preference. I'd say like with a lot of names that anyone has. So for example, and people would often ask me when I was growing up, do you prefer Pete or Peter? And I said, I really don't care, because in my family members would call me by both as I was growing up. So I found, Father Peter or Father Lawrence, if that makes someone more comfortable, whatever someone's particular comfort level is, I'm fine with either. And I always say if you can't remember either of them, you can just say Father, and that works too. So
there we go. In fact, how about this? Can we do a bonus question? Yeah. Why do we call priest Father? Father?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah. So it's I've got a couple thoughts. I'm sure you
launch that missile, bro.
I think the main reason would be, as our earthly fathers bring forth life into the world, as priests we're given a special sacramental grace to bring spiritual life into the life of God's holy people, and so that is one of the reasons why we refer to priests as Father, because of the spiritual life that they bring to us. So.
And I've had, people ask me, doesn't Jesus specifically say, call no man on earth Father? Of course he does. But there's a couple things to think about. First, like every person who ever existed, Jesus used extreme language to make a point. The same people who have told me Jesus specifically says, call no one Father, I notice they have both eyes. Everyone who said that to me. And Jesus also said, if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out. So if someone who has torn out two eyes asks me that question, they got some street cred.
Exactly. Yes.
But they wouldn't be able to. Anyway, so there's that spiritual fatherhood, and St. Paul actually refers to this. The idea, right? One of the core ideas of our faith is that the church is the bride and Jesus is the groom. Ours is a feminine religion in that regard. And that's one of the reasons only men are priests. We can probably get into that in a future one.
Sure.
But that fatherhood, we're kind of, if you'll excuse the phrase, playing the part of Christ. Church is bride, we are the groom, and the life that comes from the womb of this union, that's the baptismal font. We die in the font and we rise as new creatures in Christ. So,
one other thing I would add too, one that you mentioned with St. Paul, I think it is in one of his letters to the Corinthians, he actually refers to himself as a father. He says that I became your father in Christ. He certainly wouldn't be in violation of Jesus' teaching, so he refers to himself as a father. So certainly that was already present even for the first apostles. So.
Praise God. So there we are. We are happy to do this, and I'm so glad that Father Peter came along for the ride, and he said he'll agree to pop in every once in a while and help us out with these. So keep coming, share these, like them, send cash donations to Father Joe Krupp, Superstar Action Figure collar sold separately, and I will give those to Charity. Charity is the name of one of my dogs. Totally kidding. Anyway, we don't need donations. We want to enjoy.
Donate.
Okay. See, I can see. This is the thing. We're so glad you tuned in. Don't forget, send in those questions. You can post them on my Facebook page, Holy Family's Facebook page, or Father Peter Lawrence. We hope they have a great day, don't we?
Amen. God bless you all.